think you play for the national championship if you play in the last game, and I don't. You play for the national championship when you're in this tournament, and you have to win 6 games to win it. The bracket is loaded at the top with Kansas, Duke, Michigan State, Auburn being the 4th seed in that group. It's a pretty darn good from a standpoint of profile and national programs, and to be in the top 4 seeds in this bracket is a tremendous statement for the regular season champions. College of Charleston is they're a 3-headed monster. They've got 2 great guards. They play the point and the 2, and they've got a great form man. All those guys can shoot threes and average over 17 points a game. So they have 3 great players and lots of other good pieces. So we're going to get up and get ready for them. And then in the next game, you got Chris Jans coaching at New Mexico State. He's a former Wichita State assistant to Greg Marshall. And so we're familiar with him, and then of course Clemson. We saw Clemson in the College of Charleston. In fact, both Clemson and Auburn got 3 straight days of looking at one another, and so if we happen to see them, we'll know a lot about them. So it takes 2 wins to get to Omaha in the Sweet 16, and so that's how we'll approach it.
When you've got a team that doesn't have NCAA tournament experience, what's going to be the message for them this week?
I just think that you just take it. You play it like any other game. I mean, you try not to deviate too terribly much. We've been in tournaments before, and so we're not going to change. We're not going to change how we play. We're not going to change how we dress. We'll probably travel out there a little earlier than we normally will, and we haven't been in San Diego, California for a game before, so try to keep it the same.
Do you think you guys need to hit the reset button a little bit just with the way into the season and kind of one of the worst losses this season against Alabama?
Yeah.
What's your kind of thoughts?
We've lost 4 out of the last 6 games. We're 2-4 without Anthony Macklin, and the 2 wins were against against Alabama and South Carolina, and so we clearly aren't as good without him. At the same time, I want them to think back to, this is still a team that won the SEC. This is still a team that has 8 players that are all capable of playing well. Look, we had 2 or 3 guys play well against Alabama. No, we can't win like that. We need the 8 guys that are out there playing to step up and be able to play. So from the standpoint of a reset button, if 8's going to be enough, 8 guys are going to bring it. And we play best when everybody contributes, and we need more contribution from more guys. It can't just be the star power guys. And then guys got to go back to doing what they do. Bryce got to make shots. Jared's got to play. Jared Harper, when he plays well, we win. That's a lot to put on your quarterback, but that's just the truth. And those 2 guys are going to be going up against College of Charleston's 2 of their best players. So, yeah, I do think there's an opportunity to hit a reset button here and see if we can get some of our mojo back. Like, for example, like the way Deshaun Murray played. And again, you could tell that Deshaun kind of hit a reset button at the SEC tournament, knocked on some shots, played with a little bit more confidence, and if we could have had a couple of the guys sort of step in there with him, we'd have been in St. Louis longer.
From the perspective of the matchup, Bruce, because you could have gotten somebody who was loaded with 4s and 5s, not to get old boys around here, but on paper, a guard-heavy team would seem to be a better matchup for you than obviously the opposite.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I can't tell you how good the matchup is until I tell you that. I haven't looked at it. Yes, but I don't see anybody in the first weekend that is built like either Alabama or Texas A&M or Kentucky. Those are the teams that we're going to see in St. Louis, Missouri, Georgia. Big physical teams. But they'll present us with other challenges. But we've got to get back to playing our best basketball. We got to get our identity in our man stuff and our zone stuff. And again, it's all about making plays. But we're prepared. We've been through a gauntlet in the SEC. That's going to be part of my message. There's no team in this tournament that is more prepared than Auburn as far as everything we've gone through. All the adversity we've gone through, all the challenges that we've gone through, the quality of the competition. This team's prepared. Are we good enough at this time with these 8 guys to pull it off? That's why we play the games.
Beyond the X's and O's, Bruce, what did today mean? You've talked about the NCAA tournament, I think, before you guys left for Italy. And you put it out there.
Yes.
But this is the destination point for your program for an initial, hey, we're here. We're respectable.
The perspective is this. I did feel like this team could go to the NCAA tournament. I felt like we had enough guys returning, enough experience, We had made a good enough run last year where we got close enough that we could taste it, but we didn't finish with free throws or defense or transition defense or rebounding or ending plays. And to this team's credit, we fixed a lot that was ailing us. You know, they can no longer say that the team in the SEC that hasn't been to the NCAA tournament the longest is Auburn. That's no longer the case. And you know, for Charles Barkley to be able to call our name was significant because he's just tired of having us not be competitive. And I think, frankly, you know, listen, Auburn as a school, what's happened to our school over the last, say, 15 years? I mean, it just keeps going in the right directions. Academically, with all of our programs, it's so tough to get into. It's one of the top public institutions in the country. And look at all of our other sports, men and women. Look at all the success in all sports. Look at the stability of the coaches, and men's basketball just hasn't been able to, you know, stand up. And I know when I came here, you know, one of the things that Jay Jakes and I talked about, David Benedict and I talked about, is they were tired of Auburn basketball sort of being a ball and chain around the league. And I remember how we viewed Auburn. Those kids would play hard, and it was always a tough place to play. But they weren't going to. It was, you know, only one year I remember with Coach Lebo, where we beat them in the semifinals. I think of the SEC tournament in Tampa. They had upset Florida, where they were a real threat, where they're really and now Auburn is competitive enough to win the league and go to the NCAA tournament. So yes, it means a great deal to me from a historic perspective.
Would y'all consider going to contact practices for a couple times this week?
I think we might have one. I think the fact that we don't play till Friday, I think that we'll hit on Tuesday and hold our breath. But I got to get us, if we're going to get a reset, then we're going to have to hit one day this week.
Without giving away too much of the preparation, just what goes into prep for an opponent, like where you have some common opponents in Hofstra.
Yes.
You look at last 5, last 10, you look at those, they played Wichita at one point.
Well, I'll give you an example. Like they beat Northeastern 3 times. Northeastern played a game very similar to ours. So we'll study that to see how they attacked it and what they did against it, because what they did against that zone is going to be similar to what they're going to do against our zone. So that's how you approach it. I've got 3 scouting teams. Chad Pruitt will lead one, Stephen Pearl will lead the other, and Harris Hadley will lead the third. We have 3 teams that we have to play this week. I will have 2 of the teams working with me for at least the next 48 hours and focusing just on the College of Charleston. One of the teams will break off and begin to work on New Mexico State, and I'll probably have one of my teams on Clemson from the jump.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if you win that first round game, you will play on your birthday.
Is that right? Yeah.
March 18th, and that was 4 years from when you got the job. Where is this program now?
Well,
when you got here.
One of the things that doesn't get talked about is the fact that we're the 2nd youngest team in our league to Kentucky. One of the things that doesn't get talked about, we have no seniors, and there's a chance that a lot of these guys could come back. And so I do think that if we can get through all that we need to get through with the NCAA, we get that behind us, I think the program is in very strong footing. And so as far as March is concerned, you know, my kids have only known spring break as the NCAA tournament. They grew up that way. And so my children, with the exception of Leah, who's working for Turner, she's got to work this weekend in studio, my kids will all be there. My wife Brandy will be there. Our family will be there. And so will the families of all of our coaches. This is something that these guys have earned, and we'll do it together.
Quirky question, Bruce. When Greg Gumbel introduces Auburn as Mike Pearl's team, which I know is technically true, but it's kind of a historic moment when the broadcast gets that theoretically incorrect. And just how did you react to?
I didn't hear that, but listen. I've been called worse than Mike Pearl. Okay, that's all I can say. Thanks, guys.
Bruce, just